Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Breaking 90 podcast. I'm your host, Alex Harriman, with my co-host, Jerrika and Alex. We are the coaches of Breaking 90 Fitness, and we're here today with another episode for you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Jer, how you doing?
Not too bad. How have you been?
I've been good. It's depending on when people are listening to this. It's holiday season, so we've definitely winded down a bit, and we've had some time to spend more time with family. So it's been good. It's been cool. We just got back from Great Wolf Lodge. Actually, have you ever been there?
No, I've never been there, but I saw some of your pictures. It honestly looks like a children's playground, like the most best thing ever, but an adult's playground. I was like, I still want to go.
It's pretty cool because what it is so it's in Niagara Falls, for those of you listening in Canada, and there are some across the States too, but it's like you show up for the weekend, you park, and you don't touch your car again for like the entire stay, which is really cool because typically when you go to Niagara Falls, you're driving all over the place, doing all these different little sightsees. Great Wolf Lodge, you just like everything is there. The food is there, the rooms are there, the water park's there, there's activities there. It's it's really fun for kids and adults. There's like the slides, some of the slides are like pretty intense even for adults. The food's really good. It's it's awesome for anybody who has young kids. It's definitely worth checking it out.
That's awesome. Looked like a good time. That's good.
It was, yeah. Emerson had a blast. He's not at all afraid of some of these massive water slides, which is crazy. There was some that he couldn't go on because of height limitations only, but he was like disappointed that he couldn't go
He
on
would have.
Yeah.
He's at a good age to do that kind of fun stuff and explore and adventure because he's just going to start remembering, things like that, and it's a perfect age for him and for you guys to play with.
Yeah. No, it's good. So the topic that I have for us to talk about today, I believe this will be releasing right before New Year's. It is why New Year's resolutions fail and why your New Year's resolution probably will fail. And I want to dig into that a little bit, but also not to be so negative, is giving you some tips along the way to make your New Year's resolution a positive experience, to make it actually work, things you can do to do it properly. So there's a lot to unpack here, so we'll dig right in. I wrote down a couple tips, but let's just see where it goes. So what are your initial thoughts right off the hop?
It's funny you say that. I was just going to ask you, like, what is your opinion on New Year's resolutions? That's funny. I was thinking about that the other day, and I mean, I've always done them, to be honest. I don't really necessarily call them a New Year's resolution. I kind of call it like an end of year reflection. Like I will kind of sit back and look at my year as a whole and big things I've accomplished. Sometimes I go through my photos on my phone and I'll see big events and I reflect on things I did and things I want to do moving forward in the new year. And whether that be fitness, health related goals, there's always those goals in mind, but I always try to separate them into like fitness and health, and I'll do, like a lifestyle or an adventure goal. So I definitely try to look at it more as a bigger picture and not so much like as a stress or going to New Year, things that I have to do. But I think they're great, and I think they can be a really awesome perspective. What are your thoughts?
I think if they're used properly, they can be really good. And if they're used the way that most people use them, then they're a waste of time. So I'll start off with the biggest, I think the biggest factor, the biggest reason that New Year's resolutions will typically fail is because people approach it with the Monday mentality, right? I'm going to start fresh on January 1st, or I'm going to start fresh on the first of the month, or after this event, or on Monday, whatever it might be. But I'm starting fresh January 1st is one of the most broken mindsets when it comes to your health and fitness. Like if you are feeling motivated on December 24th or January 1st or January 12th, like you should start taking positive actions right away. And it doesn't mean you have to change everything overnight. Like if it's January 24th, obviously you're coming into some big meals and you're not gonna not eat any of those meals, not enjoy yourself, not eat any desserts. But if you are feeling motivated, start taking positive action, because that's the time. That is when you're at your peak. That's when you're going to make the biggest difference. If you're waiting for January 1st, then you're creating change for reasons that aren't deep enough. You're creating change because of a day on a calendar that really has no significance. Nothing magic happens overnight when the year changes over and it's 2022. Nothing magic has happened that's going to make you stick to that plan. So you need to find that deeper reason. You need to find the reason that you want to make these changes, and you need to start building towards them. I've got a lot more to dig into here, but before I do, like, what are your thoughts on this?
I love that you said that. Like when it comes to like today, I'm sitting here today, and the last few days I'm thinking, oh, Jerrika, you've been slacking on water. Water's been a little tough. Well, why would a normal mentality would be, okay, you know what, January 1st, water goal is going to be one of my, yeah, that's going to be one of them. But
Yeah.
in reality, it's like, no, this is something I want to focus on now. This is a great time to focus on it through the holidays, because I will be having more sodium, probably some wine. So you know what? Let's start drilling that into my daily habits, so that by the time I maybe want to start my New Year's, I'm already have a water habit built in, right?
Yeah.
So I love that what are we waiting for? There's no significance to that day at all. It's also goes back to that motivation, discipline over motivation, right? So
Mm,
in with the New Year's resolutioners, which is, it can be a very positive thing, because like you said, motivation's usually high.
yeah.
And that's why I like, in a way, the resolution, because when motivation's high, we got to take advantage of it, right? So whether that may be making some goals, or changing something in our life, take advantage of the motivation now, because when that motivation drops by probably the third week of January,
Yeah.
right? Hopefully we've instilled some type of routine or some type of habit in whatever that might be. Maybe it's your water goals, maybe it's, adding in movement to your day, whatever that is. Hopefully by that point, discipline can kick in and be like, no, I've done this for 3 weeks now. Get it done. I know I can. The biggest issue I see with that is we set too many goals. And then by that point, we've already, 4 of them are out the window, and we don't know what to do anymore. So I think we have to, and I'm sure we'll get to that in this call, but, kind of streamlining the process a little bit, and pulling back. When motivation's high, we want to just do it all at once, right? And we have to find a realistic goal.
Yeah, you nailed it. That actually is like this. One of the other reasons that I think New Year's resolutions fail too often is that we set too many goals, or we set our goals too big, or
Right.
not necessarily our goals too big, because I think you should dream big, and I think you should have those long-term goals, but you set your action steps too big to get there. So just as an example there, you mentioned water, and it's like, if you're not drinking water right now, then January 1st, you shouldn't be drinking 3 liters of water every day.
Exactly.
Um, if you're currently not eating vegetables, then January 1st, you shouldn't be eating 5 servings of vegetables. Is it going to hurt you? No, it's not, but it's setting you up to fail, because just like you said, motivation is going to be gone probably by the third week. And motivation is going to trick you into thinking you are capable of way more than you are actually capable of, until you've built up the discipline. So third week of January comes and the motivation's gone, and you have these massive ideas of what you need to be doing perfectly. You're not going to be able to do it. Nobody is. Not me, not you,
Nope.
not who the person listening to this. Nobody's going to be able to keep doing those massive things that they've set up for themselves when their motivation was at its peak. So I guess what we should dig into is kind of what you should be considering as you set these action steps and goals for yourself, and how you can avoid that mindset. What are your initial thoughts there?
the first thing that always circles back to is my bare ass minimum, right? And we can use the example again of water. When I'm setting that goal, like you said, if I'm at 0, or maybe I'm drinking a cup and now I want to hit 3 liters, because that's just that magic number I see floating around online. And now I'm going to fail, right? Because what about that random day that, XYZ came up and I day got so busy and now I'm chugging 3 liters of water before bed. That's not realistic. And that's not what we want happening. So let's set that bare ass minimum. So on the worst day, I need to think about my busiest day. What do I think what can I achieve? And that might be a liter, right? That might be a liter today. And for the next 3 weeks, my goal is going to be a liter until that becomes easy. So my bare ass minimum is going to be 1 liter. I'll do that until it's the easiest thing in the world. And now I can increase it because that's more realistic. So I would say part of this would be setting our bare ass minimums and understanding what is realistic on the hardest day, on the busiest day.
Love it. Okay, this is something I want you guys to do as you set these New Year's resolutions, these goals for yourself. So I want you to, first of all, I want you to dig a little bit deeper into the why you want this goal, why it's important to you. Rather than saying, I want to lose weight, ask yourself why you want to lose weight. Because if the motivation is that it's January 1st and it's time to lose weight, you're not going to stick to it. There has to be a deeper reason, a deeper purpose for you doing this. So first of all, ask yourself why. The next thing, as you start setting these goals, and ask yourself that why a couple times, actually, like dig really deep with yourself there. Take some time to think that over, guys. Don't just skim over that. It's really important as you set goals that you have a real reason why you're here. So then the next thing I want you to ask as you set these action steps, is this something that I could do for life? Not, is this something that I could do for the next 2 or 3 weeks? Is this something I could do for life? So if you're setting out on January 1st to drink 3 liters of water, are you going to be able to keep drinking 3 liters of water for the rest of the year? Probably not. Think about the whole year. Think about where you normally struggle with water, where you normally do well with water. Take a big grand picture at it and start with incremental goals. Maybe you will get to 3 liters, and I hope you do if that's important to you. But start with incremental goals that you can manage. Now, the last thing I want you to do here is look back at the previous timeline. So if you want to lose X amount of pounds in X amount of days, I want you to look back at that exact same amount of days. If you want to lose 15 pounds in the next 90 days, that's kind of what it's kind of what we find a fairly common average. And I shouldn't even say that because it's completely different from person to person, and where you're at and all of that. So disregard that I even said that. If you want to lose 15 pounds in the next 90 days, I want you to look at the last 90 days and ask yourself, what did I lose? If your goal is weight loss. So in the next 90 days, I want to lose 15 pounds. In the last 90 days, I gained 5. Okay. So then you realistically, if we repeat this over and over and over again, you're gaining weight. Well, then you need to be happy with anything better than that. And you can do this on a big picture too. In this next year, a lot of people are going to say they want to lose 55 pounds. And I think it's a cool goal, but most people aren't going to lose 55 pounds sustainably in a year. I hear it a lot. That's a number, 50, 55, 60. That's a number that comes up a lot. It's not sustainable for most people. Look back at the last year. What did you lose in the last year? If you lost 7 pounds in the last year, congratulations. That's awesome. Go for 8 this year. And maybe
Absolutely.
You'll do more. Maybe you'll do more, right?
Definitely. And I think when you're looking back at that last year, like I mentioned before, looking at the seasons, not like necessarily the 4 seasons. The seasons have changed for you, whether that's, from this season or these few months. I typically hover, right? I stay around the same because I know this is where all my families have birthdays and this happens and this happens. Well, you're probably not going to lose or gain or whatever your goals may be during that time. So understanding that we do typically repeat that year to year, right? We will probably have those same few months where we will hover again because things like that, we typically celebrate things in a yearly process. So, if we set out a goal in, January, February, March, I definitely want to lose that 15 pounds or whatever it may be. But if you're someone who has 7 things to celebrate in the first beginning of the month, being realistic, right? Things go in waves. It's not going to be a constant sustainable weight loss every single month. 5, 5, 5, 5. It's not how it works. So understanding that things fluctuate and looking at it as a whole.
I think too, like, if it, so going back to that example of losing 50 pounds in a year, if you asked yourself, what would you have been happy losing in this previous year? Probably doesn't need to be 50 to be happy, because probably if you're listening to this, a lot of you probably didn't lose anything. You might have gained some of you might have lost 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, and I'm sure all of you would be happy with the fact that you made progress towards your goal over the past year. So think about that again as you set these goals for yourself. It's okay to say, I want to lose 50 pounds, but like, if you lost 20 this year, that's huge. Like, you need to celebrate that and not feel like it's insignificant, because these are changes that you've made over your entire life. You've probably put that weight on over many, 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 many years. And it's okay if it takes you a little bit longer to get there. If in the journey, along the journey, you create sustainable habits, then it is 100% worth it. The
Exactly.
quick fixes aren't going to last.
Even if you didn't gain or lose anything, let's say you stayed the same, but in a typical year, you do gain, right? So this year I hovered around the exact same. That's a huge win, because what did you learn this year? Well, maybe you learned to incorporate 2 more veggies in your daily salad, or maybe you learned to add in a little bit of water, and those changes allowed you to not even gain weight this year. Like, that is still a win, because you learned something. And I think we focus on these numbers and losing weight, and I mean, obviously we typically focus on fat loss in these podcasts because that's what we focus on, but it could be any goal, right? And I think just making, like you said, those small celebrations and realizing, what did I learn? What got me here is it's definitely much better for the bigger picture.
So one thing I want to touch on, I just want to make sure that I hit it in the way that I intended when I came into this episode, is it's kind of twofold here. So the first thing is, you need to learn how to filter through the bullshit, because we're coming into a time of year where there's going to be a lot of bullshit out there. There's going to be detoxes and quick fixes and scams and like herbal teas, and like, you need to be able to put your objective filter on and look at what is being offered. Okay. So one of the biggest mistakes people make with the New Year's resolution is doing the exact same thing they've done over and over and over and over again every single year. Now, for a lot of people, that means jumping on one of these quick fix bandwagons. The quick fix looks new, it's advertised differently, it's promoted well, but it's the same shit again. And so we need to really, really consider that. Like, if there was truthfully a tea or a pill or a band you wrap around your waist that was going to make a significant difference, would the whole world not already be doing it? Right?
That's it. Exactly. We would all be completely ripped 24/7 because it would work, but it doesn't.
This isn't easy. This journey is not easy, and it's gonna have ups and downs, and there's gonna be struggles, and you're gonna have to fall down a couple times and take a couple steps backwards as you learn, but it will be worth it. And it's going to be that much more worth it if you take the proper steps to get there. You're going to be really proud of yourself if you take those sustainable steps and make those sustainable changes and do this thing right. Is there anything we haven't touched on that you want to touch on, Jer?
No, we briefly talked about setting the action steps, and you know what, people might know what we're talking about, but when we say action steps, right, that's when we talk about goal setting. And you can also go back and look at our goal setting podcast as well, because it is out there. But when we do set that goal, we also make sure that we list some action steps to get there. And Alex briefly just said the word, and I want to make sure that everyone understands that those are steps that can get us to that goal. So I know we keep using the fat loss goal today, so we don't want to bombard ourselves with those little mini goals to get us to that big picture, right? But we do want to list a few things that can, positively impact our day and help us get there. So if it's fat loss, it might be getting in 10 minutes of extra movement. And it could be something as simple as, I'm just going to start parking a bit further. You might not even have to be so specific in that I have to work out, 20 minutes a day. It might just be something every day. If I park a little bit further, I get a few more steps in over the course of the year. That's awesome. Right. So just making little action steps, maybe 2, right? Maybe 3. I wouldn't even go more than 3. And just to help get to that bigger picture goal. I just wanted to add that in there.
For sure. Yeah. Focus on the action steps, focus on doing those actions consistently. The actions that, if you did them consistently, they would eventually get you to that goal. That's what you need to focus on, not the end goal. Put the end goal somewhere, write it down on a piece of paper and focus on it long-term, but you need to consistently implement those action steps that you hear us talk about in order to get there. That's great. So what I want to do here is a little shameless plug for the Fat Loss Forever program. We are getting ready to do one of our biggest launches probably ever this January. And what that means is a couple times a year, we open the door to the Fat Loss Forever program. It's this is what we do in Breaking 90 Fitness. People come on a 90-day journey with us, learn about all of this stuff that you hear us talk about on our podcast, learn about sustainable fat loss, how you can get there, what that looks like for you, and how to make real lifelong changes. We don't believe in quick fixes. We don't believe in fad diets. We teach real life skills, habits, nutrition, exercise, movement, all about healthy living. Like this is so much deeper than just us handing you a meal plan and telling you this is what you need to eat. This is really, really about learning how to make these lifelong changes. If this sounds like something that you're interested in at all, reach out to me. Let's have a conversation. The way that I do this is you book a call with me. It's called the Choose to Lose call. It's 15 minutes long typically. We chat for 15 minutes and just see if it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, no strings attached, you walk away, I walk away. I'll try to leave you some good information and some good advice and a good direction to go in. And if it feels like it's a good fit, then we can look at it from there. But honestly, if this is something that you've been thinking about, now is the time to do it. The really cool thing with this January launch is there's going to be many people starting all together at the same time. And it's so helpful to have other people on this journey with you, other people going through some of these struggles, as the coaches are there to guide you and help you and support you through that. Shoot me a message if that's interesting to you, and we can chat about what getting started looks like and the dates and all of that. Jay, is there anything that you want to add into that?
I don't think so. Just the importance of and the benefits of having that accountability. And I think at the end of the day, that can really go a long way.
For sure. I think most people listening to this know people who have done it too. So reach out to your friends, guys. Ask them about it. See if they think it's a good fit for you. But honestly, there's no harm in us just chatting. I'd love to have a chat with you guys and see if it's a good fit. And I'll tell you right now, it isn't the right fit for everybody, and that's okay. It's not there to be the right fit for everybody, and that's completely fine. Either way, I'll try to point you in a good direction so that you can conquer 2022 and make it your best year yet. Awesome. Cool. So leave us with a golden nugget, Jer, something important.
This is a kitchen tip. I know I'm adding another one in. We've mentioned on our group, but also I want everybody out here to hear it as well. If your things are getting bored in the kitchen or boring in the kitchen, especially in the new year, and you want to spruce it up, I've been obsessed. I pulled out my spiralizer again lately. I haven't been using it in a long time, but I've pulled it back out. I've been spiralizing everything and it really makes things more fun. Like I made a cold salad with like cucumber and zucchini and carrot and made it all into these little spirals and cut it up. And then same thing, I'll spiralize noodles and make noodles. I've been having a lot of fun with my spiralizer. So that's my advice to you if you're bored.
Do you have like a big heavy duty one where you like you
I do have that one.
In the grinder, yeah. I just have
it has
like
different
the
settings.
handheld.
Yeah, mine has like different things I could slide in. So like if I want to make like chips, I have one that like makes little like, it's like tornado potato chips. Yeah. So I put that in the air fryer. And so I have different settings, but I do have the small one too.
Sweet. I think I might need a better one because mine, like if I do like 6 zucchini to make like a big zucchini dish, like my hand is like destroyed by the end.
Yeah, mine like suctions to the counter and you just spin it and all. It's messy, but it does the trick.
Cool. And you
fun.
can even just buy those noodles. I've done that lots. Just buy them
Yeah,
already
it's true.
spiralized. It's if you're looking for a quick grab. Cool.
Something
I love it.
different.
Awesome, guys.
Fun.
Thank you once again for listening. We appreciate you guys being here with us. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope you had some takeaways for your New Year's resolutions. But as always, I'd love to hear feedback. I'd love for you guys to reach out and start the conversations with us. Leave us a review, share this with your friends, share it on Instagram, take a screenshot. You know how it goes. Thanks, guys. Take care. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.